Sagat's here. The best teams start with great talent, but finding the right people can be a challenge. When it comes to hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter can help you find the right candidates for your team fast. From healthcare to manufacturing to business services and more. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. ZipRecruiter sends your job to over 100 top job sites, but they don't stop there. With their powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans thousands of resumes to find people with the right skills and experience for your job and actively invites them to apply. You can even add screening questions to your job listing so you can filter candidates and focus on the best ones. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, to try ZipRecruiter for free, my listeners can go to ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. That's ZipRecruiter.com/DAN. ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
So this guy helps us understand what we're watching a little bit better. The country has discovered on these TBS and TNT broadcasts how much good information Stan Van Gundy gets out there, that perhaps he's seeing things that you're not seeing. So he's going to join us here in the postgame show because this is a pretty big night tonight for the Miami Heat. And I'd be surprised if they won, just because Milwaukee's got a counter. They were too good during the regular season to just go out with a whimper.
It's a big night for the Heat. I would say it's probably a bigger night for the Bucks. I mean, can you imagine them going down 3-0?
Well, I'm not surprised, and I don't think many people are, that the matchups are problematic for Milwaukee. What I don't understand, Stan, is what Milwaukee can do to make the MVP look more like the MVP, because if the matches are such that Crowder and Iguodala and Butler and Waves can bother him and Bam and Waves can bother him, and if this is what he's going to look like, that's exactly how you beat what was a historically great team during the regular season, during a playoffs when it's in the half court.
Yeah, look, I mean, Milwaukee in the half court has struggled in against good teams for a good part of the year. They have won on their defense, and they have won in their transition game. And then, Giannis will find his way to the basket, and they shoot a lot of threes. They're a mediocre three-point shooting team, but they shoot a lot of them. And that's been good enough for them because their defense is really, really good. But now, with Miami does a great job getting back. Second best team in the league in terms of fast break points allowed on the year. And they're really focused in this series on getting back, and they're taking away transition opportunities. And then when Giannis has the ball out at the three-point line and is trying to penetrate from there, it's pretty easy to load up. I mean, Miami is willing to give some threes to load up against him, and you've got a chance. If I'm Milwaukee, I think if you want to get Giannis more involved, you're going to have to get him the ball in the elbow and free throw line area, number one, where he can then attack, and it's a little harder to load up on him, and where they have had success, and I think their best half-court offense with Giannis is to put him as the screener in pick and rolls. And he has had some success against Miami in this series where he can get the ball on the roll, again, going to the basket where he's virtually unstoppable. They just haven't run a lot of those pick and rolls. So I think we'll see more of that, and I'll be interested to see if they will try to put him closer to the basket at the start, because I just don't think he's going to have success trying to handle the ball up top at the three-point line and break down the defense. I don't think that's going to happen. Miami's got great toughness. Guys are willing to put their bodies in front of him, and they're very committed. So I just don't see that working for Milwaukee no matter how long this series goes.
Stan, what about this Heat team has surprised you in terms of things that they do a lot better than you thought they would do before the season started?
Well, their defense has really picked up here, particularly in the playoffs. I think they've been great. They were not a great defensive team during the year. They were 12th defensively. They just, they were okay, but not great. But look, Eric Spoelstra is a great coach. And now in a playoff series where you give him a chance to really hone in on an opponent and combine that with a group of guys that, number one, their young players have grown defensively over the course of the year, and number two, they've got a lot of very tough competitive guys, and now they're focused in on what they have to do. Their defense has been outstanding. That's probably been, I wouldn't say a surprise to me, but something where they've really improved. Where I've been surprised in this series is Milwaukee. It has been by far the most committed team to keeping the ball out of the paint in the league. About 3 points better per game in paint points allowed than anyone else in the league. And Miami has had success getting to the rim, particularly in Game 2. I think Miami's three-point shooting has scared the Bucks and left them a little bit spread out on the perimeter, trying to take that away, and Miami's been able to get to the rim. That, and Miami's different offensively. Yeah, they really are. They do a little bit more moving off the ball. Bam Adebayo at the elbow, a great passer. Eric Spoelstra's run some great stuff, particularly out of timeouts to get guys the ball on cuts. And so the amount of paint points they've been able to get against Milwaukee, particularly at crucial times, has surprised me.
Dragic, the way that he's playing, where does that come from? I know that he is a very good player for a very long time, but he is putting up 20-point game after 20-point game in a way that he has not been doing in a while.
Well, it's come from simply getting more opportunity. You know, he was coming off the bench, and so that limited his minutes and limited his numbers. So what we've seen from him, I don't think is anything unexpected in terms of his play. It's just, you know, him being in the starting lineup and getting more minutes because Nunn's minutes are limited due to his conditioning coming back from the COVID and everything. And Goran Dragic is doing what he has done all year to Milwaukee. The two regular season games he played against them, they couldn't keep him out of the paint. This guy's a really, really good offensive player. I think one of the most underrated guards in the league. And when given the opportunity that he's gotten here in the playoffs, he's shown everybody what he can do. So I don't think that part is a surprise. I have said on several occasions during the year that as good as this Miami team is, and they've got great balance, Dragic may very well be their best offensive player.
Duncan Robinson, can you explain to us, I don't know what the precedent is, but usually guys who have imposter syndrome, who are undrafted, who don't feel like they belong, they don't sprout into this fast. What are you seeing there?
Well, yeah, look, they've done a great job developing him, and I mean by this, so he can really shoot the ball, but they didn't try to turn him into just a standstill shooter, you know, one of the proverbial 3-and-D guys. First of all, he's not good enough defensively, though he's gotten a lot better. He's never going to be good enough defensively to be a 3-and-D guy if all he does is shoot spot-up jumpers. So he's not a standstill shooter. They sent him to the G League, and they've worked with him ever since they've had him at being able to run full speed off screens and full speed off of handoffs and catch the ball and rise up and knock down shots. And then I don't think there's a coach in the league that does a better job than Eric does of giving guys both freedom and confidence. Eric's a guy who's going to push you to keep taking shots when you've missed 5 in a row. He's never going to pull in the reins on you, and I think that has helped Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero. Those guys to just really go out and play. So they've developed Robinson tremendously. He's been a great worker, and he's playing with a team and in a system that fits him very well and where they give him the freedom and confidence to do what he does.
What is the ceiling on Tyler Hero?
I don't know. I mean, it's pretty high, though, because he can shoot the ball. He can play off the dribble. He's a pretty good passer. He handles it well. He can play in.
Give me a name, Stan. Give me a name. Give me a ceiling on Tyler Hero. Can you give me a name on?
You know what? I'm not very good on that, especially off the top of my head. but I think, man, he's going to be a really good player. Can he get to the all-star level? I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes that 3 or 4 years down the road. He's gotten a lot better defensively over the course of the year, too. Not surprising for the team he's with and the system he's in and the coach he's playing under, but he's a competitive guy. I think that they've put other great competitors around him. You know, he's playing with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. That's, I think, helped him in terms of his development. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't put a limit on him, though, Dan. I think he can be very, very good.
Sounds like Michael Jordan.
That's the same ceiling I heard.
Yeah.
No, that would not be the name.
Yes, better than Michael Jordan? Better than Michael? You've got him better than Michael? You think he might be Michael
You
Pales?
said there's no ceiling.
No ceiling. He is ceilingless. That means he can float right beyond Michael Jordan.
Well, Michael's beyond the ceiling. So,
whoa.
Wow, you're right. Yeah.
He's not going to be Michael. He's not going to be LeBron. He's not going to be those guys. He's not going to be an MVP candidate type guy, I don't think. But I could, I think even maybe being an all-star might be a stretch, but it wouldn't surprise me if we're 3 or 4 years down the road and Tyler Hero's playing in an all-star game.
Stan, let's quit pussyfooting around this, all right? Let's talk about the real issues. Is Coach Budenholzer up to the challenge?
Yeah, there's no question that he is. I think the real question there is not his coaching; it's their roster, and so their roster is perfectly built to do what they do in the regular season. Because number one, they're probably the deepest team in the league, 1 through 12, and so they handle injuries over the course of the year. Their guys don't have to play big minutes. They give a great defensive effort every night. They get out in transition. They're never tired, and they've got a lot of guys who can shoot the ball. And, Giannis is obviously a great player. Let's not downplay that at all. And when you're going in and you have 1 day to prepare and sometimes really 1 hour, walk through, you're not going to get to the point that the Heat have gotten to defensively in this series, or even what Orlando did in the first round, with a depleted roster, but they were able to have some success guarding him. But in the playoffs, you're relying on your best player. It's interesting, not only Giannis, but watching the Toronto series with Siakam. If you can't get your own shot off the dribble and be efficient making it, like a Kawhi Leonard, a Paul George, Donovan Mitchell, a Jamal Murray, those type of guys, those are the stars come playoff time. Those are the guys that can be your go-to guy. And as great as Giannis is, he doesn't have that.
He's the MVP, Stan. Stan, he's the damn MVP.
No, listen, he doesn't. He's the MVP because he plays both ends. He rebounds the ball. I'm not saying he shouldn't be the MVP, but
Stan, Budenholzer is not up for the challenge. He is not up for the challenge, Stan. Stan, you said there's
an offensive go-to guy.
Stan, you said
you can limit him. Those other guys you can't limit. They can get theirs and knock it in. I'm not sure he can if you keep him from getting to the rim.
Okay. Oh, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Coach Budenholzer is up for the challenge. Giannis is not.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say he wasn't up to the challenge.
What you said.
I just said that they have. I'm not sure their roster. And listen, here's the other part of what the Heat are doing that I think is missed by people. In the half court, Milwaukee's best offensive player is Chris Middleton. And what are they doing to Chris Middleton? They're blitzing him. They're trapping him on every pick and roll and taking him out of his comfort zone. That's been a great scheme for Miami. Orlando did the same thing in the first round, and that really hurts Milwaukee offensively because now if you're keeping Giannis from getting to the rim and trapping Middleton, who are the shot creators on that team? It's going to leave it to to Bledsoe to be the guy creating. They have other guys who can score. How does Milwaukee counter? Maybe we'll post up. I'm a little surprised because they were starting to post Brook Lopez more during the year. I'm a little surprised they haven't thrown him down there in the post because Miami doesn't have anybody that would have a chance against Brook Lopez one-on-one in the post. Bam, as good as he is defensively, is way too small. But they've gone back to playing Brook Lopez almost exclusively on the perimeter. So we might see some adjustments there, but they've got to get the ball to Giannis closer to the basket. He can't, in the half court, bring it from 28 feet to the basket. That's not going to work.
It sounds like Budenholzer needs more help.
Like you need,
and
you
don't
need
think
more.
Giannis is very good.
He said it's unbelievable what Stan is doing here. He's going after the two-time MVP, but not his beloved Budenholzer. Nope, not his beloved Budenholzer. Budenholzer doesn't have enough help. Giannis does, but Budenholzer doesn't. Giannis has enough help because he's got Budenholzer. Budenholzer doesn't have enough help because he's got Giannis.
No, he's got Giannis. But listen, I said this at the beginning of the series. If you line up the rosters, everybody, we're going to pick teams from what's out there. Okay, you're going to take Giannis number one, and then who are you taking? You're either taking Middleton or Jimmy Butler number two, okay, and then the other one of them number three. So two of the top three are going to go to Milwaukee. Now, after that, if it's me, I'm going Bam Adebayo. I'm going Goran Dragic. I'm going probably Tyler Hero. Like, I'm lining up the Heat guys after we get past the top three. There's not this idea that Milwaukee has a lot more talent than Miami is simply not true. As a matter of fact, I like Miami's talent. If we're going to just take the top 6 or 7 guys on each roster, I like Miami's talent more, at least once you get past Giannis.
Let's talk about the important stuff. What's the food situation like inside the bubble? Do you get room service? Are you able to eat at all the resort restaurants, or are you limited to certain quarantine options? What's the food sitch?
Well, I mean, it's basically at the Waldorf, it's room service or, outside down by the pool at the restaurant. But for me, I've done some of that, but a lot of Uber Eats. So
nice. Are you getting bubble fatigue, Stan? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, it's. Look, I did get home for a couple of days. They let me out. I can't imagine. Like, my brother has gotten home twice, but he's been there since July the 23rd. And he goes till the very end. I've got a week left. I'm done at the end of the second round, and then it's Reggie Miller and Chris Webber doing the conference finals. These guys that have been there for 3 solid months with only a couple of short breaks, I can't even imagine, and I really can't imagine what the players and coaches are going through that are going to go all the way. It's not, the accommodations are nice, the food is fine, it's not bad. It's just the fact that you're in such a limited area and you're away from family and friends.
Would you say that there's any part of it that you've actually enjoyed?
The games themselves I've enjoyed. I think the level of play has been very, very high. So I've enjoyed the games. Though I will say it is interesting, you walk into those gyms, and you guys have all been, to NBA playoff games, and there's a different energy when you walk into the building playoff time. First of all, if you're in Miami, there's actually people in the arena before the game, and instead of arriving with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. But there's that energy in the building come playoff time, and you just walk in, you feel it. There's none of that now. I mean, you're literally showing up. There's less energy in the building than there is for a summer league game in the old Orlando Summer League where only NBA personnel could be in. I mean, there's no energy in the building. The players and teams have to create it themselves. So it's been a little surprising to me, quite honestly, that the level of play has been as high as it is.
Stan, I'm wondering, does that affect how you will view whoever wins this thing? Because I've been maintaining that, listen, the level of play has been great. There have been games that have been wildly entertaining, series that have been wildly entertaining, but when you take that fan element out of it and the fact that someone might have to, like Giannis, if he actually had to come down to Miami and win a big game 3, season on the line, you know, at the AAA with Heat fans there, it would have a totally different feel. And so I'm just kind of torn as to what to do with whomever wins this NBA championship.
Yeah, you know, look, it's going to go down as a champion regardless. Here's my thing. The home court obviously is huge. Like, you know, I don't think Miami and Boston, either one, I mean, they're both really good. I don't think they actually would go on the road to Milwaukee or Toronto and win both games. I mean, I just don't think that's happening. But the bigger thing to me is that what makes it a strange season is I don't even look at this as part of the last season, even though it's the way it's going to go down in the books. So I look at this and say, Milwaukee was a great team in the 1920 season. Now, this is a whole different season, and they haven't been a great team here. Not just in the playoffs. They weren't good in the seeding games. So I look at it as a whole new season, and people are looking like, you know, this was a great regular season Milwaukee team that is underachieving in the playoffs. I'm looking at it as this was a Milwaukee team that was great last season, and for whatever reason, they're not as good this season. And this is a whole new deal, and how people came back from the 4.5-month layoff and the whole thing. So, yeah, I look at the teams differently because of that, but it'll still go down in the books the same way. And, you know, when you look back 10 years from now, all you're going to say is somebody won the championship in 2020.
Stan, you told us a couple weeks ago that you and Jeff in the bubble have been walking every morning to get some exercise. I'm wondering what life is like on the, like, people trying to stay busy in the bubble. Like, are you doing your walk with Jeff and you see Taco Fall just doing yoga over on a grassy knoll? Like, what's the most random thing you've seen an NBA player doing to keep busy in the bubble?
Well, no, we're not in the same bubble. So the sideline reporters are, you know, and they're in the same, and that's much more restrictive. You know, so we never see the players or the coaches, any of that stuff. We don't see them. And so, you know, we're sort of confined to one hotel, though it is like we can go to Disney Springs, the entertainment area. I mean, Turner has discouraged us from going, and I haven't gone. But the ESPN people have gone there, and then there's a lot of golf being played. Yeah. You know, a lot of people out playing golf. There's a course right there at the Waldorf, and, you know, the tee times are all taken every day. I mean, when people have time off, they're out on the golf course. And then you do see people walking, sitting by the pool, though not that many. It's obviously the weather hasn't been great. The exercise room's open, but again, for the people from Turner, they've discouraged us for health reasons from using that. That was tough.
Were you happy to?
You weren't planning on using it though, Stan, were you? I mean, come on, let's be honest, Stan.
Not at all. No.
I mean, you know, I would have been down there 3 or 4 hours a day, but hey, I'm a team player, Stugatz, and if they don't want me down there, I'll make the sacrifice and not go down. So what I do instead, I take that time where I would normally be working out, and I just order another Uber Eats meal, and, you know. But it's all for the good of the group. I want that to be
so
clear.
Nice of you, Stan.
You're all holding.
Not for me. I'm doing my part for the team.
Yeah, you're all pulling the same rope. You've been super gracious with your time. We do want to close with some Steve Nash stuff before you go. So just rapid fire questions that I have about bubble life. How many mini bottles of shampoo have you stolen?
Ooh, good question.
No, I actually brought a big bottle of shampoo, yeah. So I'm a Head & Shoulders guy. That's not what you get in there, so I had to bring my own.
Do they leave mints every day on your pillowcase?
No, they only clean the rooms every third day unless you ask for it specifically.
Do you ask for it specifically?
No.
Mike, you have not. So Mike hasn't been to a hotel. Have you been to a hotel recently? Because Stan is right. Like cleaning service now is done like every third day. Towels, you have to call. Right, Stan, you have to call up and ask for more towels. Correct?
Yeah, how many towels are on your bathroom floor right now?
No, there's none on my floor. I mean, I take the towel after I use it and hang it up.
Oh, what is it?
You reuse it. You reuse it, right?
Stan,
you reuse it once and then you know.
Yeah, totally.
Stan, do you have one of those rooms with 2 beds or 1 bed?
I have 1 bed, but I have like a mini suite, so I have like a living room area too.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So any of the people at Turner like trying to look inside your hotel room to see what kind of setup you got over there to see if your room's better than theirs? Are you jealous of anyone else's room?
No, I think it seems to me like I only see them when we're on the Zoom calls, but seems like we're all pretty much in the same accommodations. Now, I'm on the golf course side, so if I wanted to, I could sit out on my balcony and look at the golf course. I don't want to because the heat index is 106 and the humidity is like 90%, so I don't want to, but I could if I wanted to.
Who would you say in the media has played the most rounds of golf in the bubble?
Barkley.
Not in the bubble.
I don't
You really
know.
aren't watching.
Right. No, I'm not.
Yeah, no, I don't know because I don't go out there. I know Doris Burke's played a lot. My brother's gone out twice, and he doesn't even golf. I know he and Mark Jackson have gone out and played 9 holes a couple of times. Again, they've been there a long time, and just the boredom, I think people are looking for things to do. And they've had stretches also where they've had 3 or 4 days off in a row. And so they've gone out. But I know Doris has played a lot. There are some guys, like I'm working with Brian Anderson now. I know he gets out there every chance he gets. He's a good golfer and wants to be out there as much as he can. But I don't know who's out there the most. I know I'm out there the least. I might be tied, but nobody can have been out there less than I have been.
You're a team player. You want everyone else to have the tee time, Stan. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Yes.
I mean, I've made so many sacrifices for my colleagues in the bubble. I don't know if they're appreciated or not, and it doesn't matter to me because I'm just about everyone else.
All right, we'll get you out of here on this. Steve Nash, I'm wondering, some people are bothered that Steve Nash goes straight from never being an NBA coach to being the NBA coach of a team that's going to have a really good chance at winning an NBA championship next season with Durant and Kyrie Irving in the East. Does it bother you at all that a guy with no experience, Dan, and we've seen this plenty of times, Steve Kerr, Mark Jackson, other guys as well, the floor generals, the point guards in the NBA seem to not have to wait in line to get a head coaching job? Does that bother a coach like you at all who's been trying to do this and has done it his entire life?
It doesn't bother me. Look, I always will, have a soft spot for the guys who have been career coaches and have worked a long time for their opportunities. But look, these guys have turned into good coaches. I mean, it's hard to argue with, Doc Rivers, got his job here in Orlando with no experience. Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr, Jason Kidd. So they've done well. I mean, you can look at coaches from all different backgrounds, and there's going to be some who have succeeded at a high level, and there's going to be some who have struggled for whatever reason. So I'm not sure the background has. I don't think it's been proven that there's one background that works better than others. So no, I don't have any problem with Steve Nash getting it. I wish him luck. He's going into his first job with a team with high expectations, much as Steve Kerr did. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Stan, we appreciate the time. Thank you as always, and enjoy the games on the weekend, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Stan.
Thank you, Stan.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys.
All right, Stan, have you played at all? You haven't played one round of golf, not one hole, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No. All right, man.
All right, have a good time watching everyone else play golf. Okay, see you.
All right.
Bye. See you, man.
Geico knows there are many reasons why you ride. From the thrill of the revving engine and pure adrenaline of flying down the highway, to the confidence of knowing that Geico always has your back with 24/7 access to claim service. But Ari Snyder has one reason in particular.
I have extremely large upper arms. They won't even fit into most shirts. Thankfully, biking really embraces vest culture, so I feel accepted.
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.